But the mind too. We have to keep mind. Our minds fit besides our bodies, right? That's what they call it. They call it physically fit, mentally fit. It's like the new age, you know, thinking. It's called self-relaxing, you know, inner channeling. They call it the mantra, right? That's inner channeling, mental well-being. They call it. It's that you chant to this sort of thing. You The band knows everything. Where's your snake? let's do the chanting.
See, they all have
I was trans-channeling recently in Shirley MacLaine. When I heard this cosmic operator coming through, she said, "It's okay. Collect from Ramtha and direct to you." I said, "Is this a metaphor? Could I have lived before?" I know what you're thinking. She must have been drinking.
Is this at the hotel?
And eventually her brain became browned out. She's on the edge, you know. But I was searching in search of... That's a TV rerun.
Thank you.
Star Trek. With Leonard Nimoy. And guess what I just found out?
Comes the song.
I used to be Shirley MacLaine. Come to think of it, so did she. Dear Shirley's been so many other people before. One of them must have been me. I used to be Shirley MacLaine. There we were, me and her on that limb. She said, "Let's go out of our bodies." I said, "I think I'll decline." Out of her body? She's out of her mind. Hi, Shirley. She's been thin once and fat once. She was Morris the catwalk. And he once heard it said she played the horn with Count Basie. She's been Helen of Troy once, tried her luck as a boy once. And though we all winced, her brother Warren's convinced he's Dick Tracy. I must have been Shirley MacLaine, and I had the time of her life. It was fun, me one, Shirley MacLaine. In Peru, I Peru, with Shirley MacLaine. Then I shouted, "It's too crowded. We're Shirley MacLaine." Shirley MacLaine, party of 50. Shirley MacLaine, party of 50. Though I still... You just got it? Though I still have her books on my shelf. I used to be Shirley MacLaine.
you go.
Well,
Turn on your mic.
oh, is my mic on?
No, we don't leave the mics on.
Oh, mine is on.
Oh, it's been on the whole time.
Yes.
Good thing
That's
you
why
didn't say anything too rude.
That's why I didn't say anything, because I didn't want. Have you ever had an open mic on and you said something,
For sure.
and the sound man is sitting there with his cans on, and he goes like this. You just are so mortified because it was something you really wouldn't want anybody to hear, right?
I have definitely.
Hi, everybody, and happy Saturday. I am so happy to be here. I rolled in 1 minute ago. We were
discussing that.
well, we were
I asked Seth.
Channing and I went shopping, and then we were coming back, and the traffic in Vegas is off the hook. I mean, it's packed. What is
Saturday.
going on here this weekend?
Saturday night, baby. Well, didn't you mention some country stars playing Allegiant?
Yeah, I don't know if it's tonight, but I think it was George Strait.
Well, anyway,
was it?
look
Could
at
that
it,
be
Saturday night.
Yeah, but anyway, we just rolled up about a minute ago, and I was doing my makeup, and Channing was doing my hair at the same
I had
time.
asked Seth if he'd ever heard any stories of you showing up to a soap opera set like that.
No, I have no. First of all, I have never been late for work in my life.
Well, you weren't late. You were just.
No, but it was close. You know, it was
you
really
were
close.
just staggeringly close.
But because I in the car, what I say, Channing, I was like, oh my God, I've got to be there when because Todd, you are so good about being on time. You are excellent at it.
I read this book one time. I forgot this guy's name. Don Miguel.
Don Miguel Ruiz.
No, I'm teasing. No, I didn't read the book, but I did have that on-time epiphany.
No,
a
be
while ago.
impeccable with your time is
Right,
not one of the 4 agreements, but
No,
you're
but-
great at it, and I am not great at it unless it's work related. Then I've never been late for work in my
So my
life.
mother is the one that started all of that with
Yeah.
Carrie and I. You know, she was always early to everything, even to the point where, as children, as you know, like if you're an hour early, it's miserable. So we always thought she was fanatical, showing up so early. But she did it for the exact reason you're talking about, like the what ifs.
Yeah.
What
Well,
if?
I call them
what if you're on the
variables.
freeway and it takes that much longer?
No, it's true. And when I was on the show, I was always said I'd rather be 2 weeks too early than 5 minutes too late, because it's also,
Right.
Everybody's time is as valuable as yours. So people that are chronically late, there's some thing about it that, but I don't know what it means,
Well, being late is really an inconsiderate thing to do.
Yeah, I know.
Even if it's one person or a million, it's like my mother's thing, of course, was like a lot of people were waiting for
Right,
her most of the
right,
time.
right.
That's one way. But even just one-on-one, it's not the slick thing.
Although I will say, one time, it was in West Virginia. I can remember because I was getting ready and my watch was wrong. So I heard them announcing me. My dressing room was right behind the stage. I was in an RV. And I heard them announcing, I heard my opening announcement, for
Well,
me.
doesn't the music start? You have
The
a
music
minute,
and then the voice. And I didn't have any shoes on. And so I grabbed my shoes and I ran through the grass to get to the stage, and I stepped on a bee and it stung me. And
How do you think he felt?
I can tell you for sure he did not survive that. But I got stung by a bee. I ran out on the stage, and I didn't have any shoes on. And so I started talking to the audience. I sat down in one of the chairs, and I started talking to the audience, and I'm putting my shoes on at the same time. And I thought, I never want to have this happen again. But they laughed.
As a performer, though, you've surely had the dreams of showing up without your clothes for stage and all of that.
I would always have the dream that I didn't know my lines.
That one?
Yeah,
Never
when I
that
was
you
on the
weren't
show.
dressed properly?
No, I didn't have the naked dreams
No,
that I
it
was
wasn't
on
to be
stage.
naked, just not having
Yeah.
what you need.
No,
You know,
mostly it was like I didn't know what I was there, what I was supposed to say.
I
think-
had those dreams when not that I did that. I mean, I did a few years of service.
Yeah.
And I, as a kid, I had dreams like, my guitar wasn't in tune.
Yeah,
So
something silly things like
well,
that.
listen how silly this is. So let's say you show up on stage, you're playing with a big band. Well, I have my own mic and everything, so I would have to, if my dream was I wouldn't be able to, I'd have to fake that I was playing.
Right.
Because if I hit the strings, it would be out of tune with the band, and that would be a horror.
Oh, but sometimes I wonder. I think singers sometimes they have dreams that they don't remember the lyrics. That actually happened to me once.
Or you start to sing and nothing comes out.
that's never happened to me, but one time when in Les Mis, the stage is a giant turntable, so it's constantly rotating, and it has maybe 4 or 5 sets on at once, and it's quite amazing because when the turntable is going and you're set waiting and you feel the light hit your face and you're on.
That's the cue.
And I was in the hospital bed as Fantine, and I was laying in the hospital bed, and it was my death scene. So I was laying there, and I realized that I could not remember the first line. I've sung it so many times. I could not remember the first line of the song. And as I was laying there, I started to panic. And I'm searching my mind. Why my mind went blank, I don't know. It's the only time it ever happened. And all of a sudden, I felt the stage go ka-chink, and I realized we're about to start turning. And as we were turning, I looked up at the nurse that was, in the scene, because I was in a hospital bed and I was dying. And I looked up at her and I thought, Angela, she was my understudy. I just realized that at that very moment. I was, Angela, what's the first line of the song? And she said, Cosette, it's turned so cold. And it all came back to me right there, right as that light hit my face. I was
if she
just,
hadn't said
if
that,
she hadn't said that, I don't know what I would have done. I probably would have made it up.
Well, I don't know.
And it probably would have rhymed, but it wouldn't have made any sense. Then I would have had to deal with the conductor after.
Well, you would have died in 2 ways on the stage.
Exactly. But it happens. So we are here, and we have lots of our folks here, all of our usual suspects, and some new. Carol Grundy, Diane Vogt. Who wrote this? I don't know. Were you talking about the
Shirley
opening,
MacLaine
Diane?
thing?
Yeah, the Shirley MacLaine thing. Yeah, who did write that?
I don't remember. So Shirley, if you guys remember, did a film called Out on a Limb, which is a story about how aliens had abducted her and all that.
Yeah.
And, my mother and I actually went to the screening of this with Shirley. She invited a bunch of us.
Yeah.
And remember, I've told the story before of John Travolta was there, and he and I were talking airplanes, and our man Flint was there, James Coburn.
Oh, yes.
He was there, and I'd never met him before, and I thought, wow, even at that moment, I thought, this guy is super cool.
Well, James Coburn just was the epitome of cool.
He was, but he was up there with like Clint Eastwood or any of them, in my view. But anyway, I met some really cool people, but I remember watching the film and thinking, this is pretty far out. And so afterwards, she was sort of like answering questions. And I didn't fortunately ask this question, but I certainly was thinking about it because she had implied that when she was abducted, that they had actually given her some sort of a gift. Mm-hmm. And so I forgot who asked the question, but they said, well, where's the gift? That would be cool. And she goes, I don't know what I did with it. I lost it. And everybody, everybody went, oh, okay. But, you lose, you're better off just not bringing up the gift. But my mother was so moved by this whole thing that she said, I got to do a satire on this.
Right.
And so she had that song written just for this. Also keep in mind, if you know, what was the date of that? It was 90. Right. So in 1990, I believe Carrie was also working, shortly thereafter, we were doing These Old Broads. That was in the early 90s, I'm going to say.
That was when Postcards from the Edge was in 1990.
Yes, but she was working, I believe, on These Old Broads. So I mean, that's when she put my mom and Shirley back together. And I almost wonder if there wasn't, because my mother said I used to be Shirley MacLaine. So did she.
Yes.
That's a cute line, but that was funny because Shirley came up to me when they were working on the film, These Old Broads, and she said, I want to talk to you about playing your mother, and that's when I said, Shirley, you don't need to really work on this. You are my mother. I was kind of joking, but it wasn't like a big acting job for her to play my mother. I mean,
she was funny.
The outgoing part of their personalities are very, very similar.
Right.
So it was kind of like, I don't think you have to work too hard on this.
That line where she said, I used to be Shirley MacLaine, so was she, reminded me of, I don't know how many people know this, but I worked for Evel Knievel when I was
Well, you've told that
young.
story.
Yeah, but people used to say, "Are you Evel Knievel?" And my favorite line he would say is, "I'm what's left of him." Because he had been
banged
cracked
up.
up so much, yeah. So I always loved that line. It reminded me of that. I'm what's left of him.
But Shirley was always very, tuned into the metaphysical stuff and the aliens. And one time I was in an ashram down toward, when you're going down Sunset towards, I was filming a segment for NBC on this quote unquote healer. And we had no idea she was going to be there, but she actually showed up. And was it seemed like anything that was really kind of on the bleeding edge of far out, she would be there. But there she was. And I'm not going to tell the whole story of what happened with the healer guy, but suffice it to say it was bogus. But she ended up getting really sick and like could not get down the mountain. And and so I sat with her, and it's like I was having this flash because my mother had pulled this kind of stuff before, overdoing it to the point where you've just collapsed at that age. And it wasn't, it was a while ago. This is like, early 80s. So it's not like they were super old or something. But they would overdo it. My mother had passed out on stage before and left me panicking, not knowing,
Did she really?
Oh, yeah. When I was a little boy, I was up in the light booth at the Desert Inn. And she had been yelling at this stage manager for nearly killing her because the stage floor used to drop down and he wasn't there with the flashlight. So she could have fallen in the fucking hole and gone all the way to the floor. Ooh. And so, it's dramatic moment. It requires dramatic language. So she's screaming at this guy before the show. The curtain comes up, the show goes on, and she blacks out and thump goes down on the floor. And I was in the light booth.
Yeah.
And at the Desert Inn, it was funky to get back to the stage from the light booth. You had to kind of go over things and under things and through the catwalks. And so I'm running through these catwalks. I get backstage, and there's people standing around her, and I flew up there, and she's like, "What happened?" I'm like,
What did she faint from?
from redlining.
Oh.
My mother, if you pushed her, she was pretty slow to anger, but once you pushed her,
Yeah.
it's a sort of
I've seen that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I do the same thing. It's a snap red line.
It's a red line, but it takes so much to get you there.
It does, but
It takes a lot to get you there.
Well, it
I
took a
got you
lot-
there once, and I will never get you there again.
Well,
ever,
it took
ever.
a lot to get her there.
Yeah.
Also, but this guy managed without a lot of trouble, and then she was passed out. I guess I was about 14. Because I don't think I was performing in the show anymore. That's why I was in the light booth. I started doing her sound at that point. I panicked because she was like, holy man. I mean, the way she went down looked like somebody shot her. She just like right to the floor.
Yeah, I always wondered. I've never fainted, but I always wonder when people faint. Like, how do you? I mean, do you go down daintily? Do you just fall over? What happens?
I have fainted. And when it happened here in Las Vegas. I was about 8 years old. It's back when McCarran Airport had no, those little things that go out. So you used to have to get out on the tarmac to get up into the airplanes. And as you know, the temperature gets rather high here. And I had been given this jacket, like a jacket that Glenn Ford would wear with the sheepskin collar, and I wouldn't take it off. I loved it so much. And there I was out on the tarmac with that jacket on, and I went down like a pack of rats.
Like a box of rocks, as we say in the hypnosis business.
Here's what happens.
He went down like a box of rocks.
But it's like sleep. And then when you wake up, I looked up, and everybody was looking down at me. Harry Carl was panicking. And I looked up, and I thought I was dreaming. So I closed my eyes again. And I went, whoa, I'm not dreaming. And then I woke back up. You have these moments. So it is really like just waking up from a sleep. And I'm sure that's what it was like for her, because she just got right back up and went on with the show.
It's 100.
She was kind of like, what are you
100
people doing up here? We're supposed to be doing a show. Why is everybody on the stage chewing everybody out? We're like, right, okay, everybody back to position.
What's the temp today here in Vegas?
It was triple digits for 110.
110. Okay, so I'm going to go out to it's the second we're done with the show, I'm going out and icing down the chicken coops.
Well, you can go now if you need to.
Well, I might, because I got to tell you, when I got out of the car and then just came to the theater, it was so hot. I mean, it just takes your breath away. Is it like this all over
But
the
if they
country
really,
for
if
people
they
now?
want to get out of the heat, they just go through the little door.
Yeah,
and-
but they don't. They don't.
Well, the ones that are laying eggs.
Chickens are smart, but yeah, there's only one layer in there right now. But chickens are smart, but when it comes to little details like that, they don't think, oh, if I just go through that little door, is air conditioning.
Well, that's a good question then. Can you teach a chicken common sense? We've had
Can
this-
you teach a human common sense?
We've
That's
had
always
this
the question.
I think we have to, maybe if they had a chicken, they would learn their common sense.
All right, that's your question right now. Please put
Here we
your
go.
answer in the comments. Can common sense be learned?
We've done this
Go.
before.
I do it every year, because I love. Janet's like, no, it just get. Seth,
Well, no, it can be learned. I think you can, what's the old saying? You can lead the horse to water, but you won't.
you can lead a horse to water, but
I think
you
it
can't
has
make
a
him
lot
drink.
to do with how you're brought up and who
Oh,
you're brought
you know
up
what?
with.
I used to think it was innate, but I'm not sure anymore.
Well,
and I think it does have
I
something
can
to
tell
do
you
with how
that,
you're brought
that,
up.
your family members around you when you're little,
Yeah.
you watch them and you record everything they do, and then they have friends and you record them and you pick your favorites. And my grandfather was my favorite, and he was Mr. Common Sense.
Yeah.
And my mother was pretty good too with the whole thing. So I mean, the people you bond with and look at and that you admire are the people that you would inherit some of those traits from. I don't think it's like, I think if you took any person and stuck them with like a bunch of people with no common sense, I don't know how you would rise above that. I think you would just, inherit that unfortunate
Latex
trait.
says, I think common sense can be learned by seeing good examples, but not everyone will get it.
But seeing an example when you're young, when impressionable, is a whole lifestyle. See,
Right.
common sense is a lifestyle. Common sense is making good decisions. Now, but I do think you can make those changes. I told you, we were talking about at the beginning of the show, I used to be really late when I was in my early 20s and teens.
Yes.
And I just one day made a decision not to do that anymore, and that was it. So I do believe you can just make a decision not to be a dork and make stupid and decisions that have no common sense. I mean, a no common sense decision is going to cause you great harm.
Yes. Oh, Ryan is here. Is he here with us?
No.
Okay, so Ryan is in the room.
He's sunning
He's
on
at the beach.
But he's in a Speedo.
I'm
and
at the beach
he's
in
a Speedo,
Delaware.
and he didn't want anybody to see it.
Ryan.
Isn't that right?
Ryan.
Did he
I don't,
send you a picture
I
of it?
cannot unsee that right now just from you seeing it. Ryan, let's go to the video.
Send us a little shot of your Speedo, because there was a picture that I saw that kind of looked like one of those Fire Island Speedos that he was wearing.
Look at that. He said he's at the beach in Delaware, and it's scorching, unbearable. Now
Very hot.
he's literally.
But you can get in the water.
But they are on the beach.
But you can get in the water.
You don't want to. The water in Delaware is brown
Oh,
at
really?
the beach. It's very weird. I don't know
Well, no,
why.
you
It
know,
might
it's-
not mean anything, but when I went there, I thought I have never seen brown water at the beach in my life.
Here's what you have to understand about the beach near a city. I was telling you this about Santa Monica the other day. We were watching a movie, and we were watching the Santa Monica beach, and it looked kind of nice, but I informed her that all of this
I'm so
runoff-
sad to hear this.
Well, it's true everywhere. Every major big city, if it's near a big city, you can be sure all the runoff from all the roads. So in Los Angeles, for example, all the runoff from all the roads goes into the storm drains. Storm drains dump into the LA River or other storm drain or channels. So it goes from drains to channels, and it all ends up in the ocean. I mean, it doesn't magically disappear. The doves don't come and carry it away. It goes to the ocean. So that means that all of the stuff that's on those roads, the oil, the rubbers, the toxic materials, the stuff people throw in the drain, the stuff people get rid of, a lot of it, if it's in the sewer, like from your house, it'll go to a treatment plant, and most of that does get fixed. But you imagine every time it rains, what happens? All that rainwater flushes. They don't control that. That doesn't get treated right to the ocean.
Okay,
So in
this-
Delaware, it's
this-
probably even worse, because remember, Delaware is 100 years older than Los Angeles, and they've been dumping stuff in the ocean there before we knew better. Everything was dumped in the ocean. Go to England and look at the Thames River, or the, I mean, forget it. They used to dump all the sewage in there.
That's why when Russell Crowe got baptized about 5 or 6 weeks ago,
In the Thames.
and he got baptized in the Thames River, and he said, "I hope I survive this." And I thought, you should have just gone to somebody's swimming pool. That's what I did. I got baptized in a swimming pool, and it was perfect.
You remember whose pool?
Lynn Landon, Michael Landon's
So
ex-wife.
that's where we used to do it.
Yeah.
Henry and I used to baptize people
Yep.
at the Landon's house. It's a great picture of
Now
Henry.
imagine that was 40.
Do you remember
2
if it
years
was Henry
ago.
that did it?
Henry baptized me.
Was
yes.
I there?
I don't think you were there, but you could have been. I was so new to the church.
Because I that was like he always used to bring me in for that for some reason. I think part of that whole thing though is also, the purpose of baptizing somebody is more symbolic than anything else.
Of course.
And so having certain witnesses there, we always felt was good.
Yeah.
So we always encourage people to bring somebody.
There were a lot of people there, and quite a few of us got baptized
But I
that
meant,
day.
like, for the-
I don't think you were there because I would have remembered that, because I would see you across the church in the physical building.
You always say this, but I don't know
I'm
if I
telling
believe it.
you, and I would be like, sigh.
Oh man, see, she always says that.
I
I'll
am
take-
not joking.
It's a great compliment.
I would say, sigh.
You were married to the most good-looking guy in the world
I was, and I was very unhappy.
at
And
that
so-
moment.
Yes.
Because I mean, that guy.
Yes, I was unhappy.
Talking about Speedos.
But you know what? Here's the thing.
He had a tan.
You were married
Only
too,
my arms looked his
but
color.
the thing is the sigh was not about anything. What was it about? Was, well, you were cute as heck and still are, but you were. But I.
When I'm
but-
asleep.
Oh no, but this. It was really about.
I'm not cute when I'm asleep.
You're cute when you're asleep, awake, mad, happy. You're cute.
Mad.
Yeah, but you know what? It was really about wanting to be with a man that loved God as much as I did. I always wanted to be with somebody that loved God more than me, and meaning loved God more than he loved me. To me, that was really important, And
Oh, it's an interesting.
I didn't have that, and once you
it
start
would be
to
different too. I don't like putting things on like this level of like I love God more than a person here. It's all relative and it's different.
Well, you know what I mean when I say that.
I do know, but
Yeah.
I mean it's important to differentiate too, because
Yeah.
People can get really ethereal about this stuff.
Right, but what it was that I wanted somebody to kind of be the head of the household, that if we ever had problems, that we could pray them out and we could be,
People of faith.
Yeah.
Which brings us to the dollar bill. You had some comment on your website a few days ago from somebody that you shared with me, and they were complaining about how this is not a Christian nation or something to that effect.
No, it's not. They said it's not a Christian nation, but you're free to be a Christian if you choose to,
Right,
or something like that.
Which I actually don't disagree with at all. This nation was founded, on freedom, and the purpose of that freedom was to believe the way you want to believe. And many of the people that were coming from Europe to here did have different faiths, obviously. And there was a lot of persecution if you weren't in line with the C of E, Church of England, and you didn't follow that mantra, or you didn't follow the Catholic mantra in Italy and other places. In Europe, Spain, you would be persecuted heavily. And they had the Inquisitions and all this crazy stuff going on. And so a lot of people were fleeing the madness. And it's not unlike today. There's madness today. You feel it. We all feel it. And it's extreme views where somebody says, if you don't think the way I think, you're an idiot, or we're going to cancel you, or worse. I mean, in the Middle East, you don't believe that I think we're going to take you out if you don't think the way we think. That is why everybody came here. That's why this country was built. And we had these really smart old white guys. Not all old, but most of those guys were old. I mean, Washington and Jefferson, Madison, Jefferson, Madison, Monroe were kind of middle-aged. Franklin was an old dude. He was the senior member. But those guys were geniuses to be able to structure a living thing. Our Constitution and the way we run this, the way this country is structured, it is able to adapt, as things are invented, such as the internet. But to be able to create a structure like we have, and we don't have a democracy. I hear this all the time. These terms get misused. We have, just follow your Pledge of Allegiance. to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God. We have a republic, which is representative government. We use a democracy, democratic form of elections to appoint people. That was what was chosen. These guys looked at all these historic countries in Europe and all around the world, and they thought, how can we put this thing together so it won't fall apart? They studied the fall of the Roman Empire. They studied all the great nations that had fought, come and gone and disappeared, many of which literally, nations fell and disappeared, and they were all studied history extensively. These were really smart guys. If you could, I was told actually that if you analyze the IQ of John Adams, some of these early guys, it was off the charts based upon their writings and their comprehension. So all I'm saying is, the whole point of this nation was to be tolerant and to allow everybody to believe they want to believe and not force someone else to believe the way you believe. You could say how you believe, and I can say, oh, I hear you, but I think, I don't agree with you. And that's really the way it's supposed to be. Carrie and I didn't agree on every subject, or my mother and I didn't agree on every subject, but we all loved each other. And I think as Americans, that's what this should be. We're all Americans. We don't have to agree on everything. We could have some wacky people running around with wacky points of view, and that's okay. Because that's what it takes in order for all the rest of us to have our points of view and not fight over it. It requires that freedom. You want to convince somebody to believe the way you believe, then just do that. But don't say something like, if you don't believe the way I believe, you're crazy, which is what's happening. I see it every day on the news. Mm-hmm. Everybody has gone off the deep end in both directions. But we're all Americans, mm-hmm. and we should all love each other as Americans.
I am telling you,
what's the greatest of all things?
Love,
right?
Is the greatest of all things.
So if you do everything in love, you won't find yourself saying, like is being said today, all these extreme points of view in all directions. So
I think that's the part when you're not on social media as much as I am.
Oh no, not at all, because I get annoyed by it.
But I'm on social media because I have shows to promote, and I have a company, and I love the shows. But I also love people, and I love being in touch with people. When Facebook came out, and I joined it, I was like, oh my gosh, people are writing me, and I'm talking to them. And people are asking if I'll do an interview, and I'll say yes. And I remember thinking how fantastic that was, that they no longer had to go through a press person. They didn't have to call the network. They didn't need permission from anybody. They can come straight to you now because they have a way to get to you. You can answer them or not answer them. But I loved that all of a sudden we were all able to be in touch. Because when you're on TV and then there's an audience, there's a sea between you that, you will never get to know people. And I love this.
But the thing that annoys me about social media is, and people don't obey these rules very well, which is like they come over onto other people's pages, and they blow up on somebody else's page. Now, I don't go for that. Like I've seen it happen to you a few times, and I don't like it because that's your page.
I call that my house because it's my page, so that's my house.
I don't mind if somebody says, I don't see that's black. It looks a little gray to me. You can do it in love. You can say your view without being radical. Mm-hmm. But to say that if you don't agree, I see it. That's what I meant about. So that's the downside of social media is that you have to take a break from it now because it can really bring you down. But the point I was about to make about social media is I think that the biggest word I see is people saying, if you vote this way, you're an idiot. And when I see that, my heart, because, here's the thing. Those words are powerful. And whether you think you take them in or not, they're there. And, like talk about the subconscious mind, there it is. And it's so hateful to say such a thing like that. And that's what hurts my heart is but
like that.
It doesn't need to be done like that. I think it's okay for somebody to say, there is no way I could ever vote for Donald Trump. There is no way I could ever vote for Joe Biden. And they have their reasons for such. Mm-hmm. And I don't mind a nice, calm reasoning as to why. But what I don't like is what you just said when it gets to the point. If you've already analyzed this for yourself, mm-hmm. and made your decisions, it's nice. One thing we do have access to is a lot of opinions. So we can look around and generate a lot our own opinion
Yeah.
based upon a lot of input. And hopefully, Americans in general, I think, do have common sense. I mean, this country was built and founded on some really righteous principles. And I think and it's a very logical, rational kind of a thing built up around this desire to have freedom. And so when you do things that impinge on your freedom or my freedom, that's a problem. So that's why we have laws, right? Like the extreme things is somebody comes on your property and damages you in some fashion, there's a penalty for that. Somebody takes somebody's life or damages, we have laws. And it's complicated these laws have to be moved with the times. But you do have to have those laws. But that's the point. Freedom can be abused, obviously. We see it every single day. So we have to have rational laws to go along with these things. I had my little jury duty thing the other day that I got called in for. And, I kind of resigned myself I didn't want to be there for a week or whatever. Fortunately, I mean, the good news is somebody right in front of me got chosen. They finished it, so I didn't have to stay there a whole week. But I had to spend 2 days there.
Yeah, I remember.
But I was there, and I was like, hey, this is what comes with the lunch. As an American citizen, this is your civic duty. And the truth of the matter is, if I was arrested even falsely for something, I would want somebody like me on the jury. So I sat there and I thought, you know what? I'm going to sit here because I know I could do my job here and see through the weeds and help this truth come out.
Ryan, what was the name of that show we watched last summer when we were on tour and it was a fake trial and jury duty? If you have not seen this, what channel was it on? Do you remember what?
You can stream it on Amazon.
Amazon, it's called Jury Duty, and it's a series, and it's so amazing. And I told Todd about it, and he watched it, and then I just thought that was fantastic.
Well, I do love those kind of shows.
You have to see this because it's a really great lesson on human behavior and how people it's a real jury, but it's not.
Imagine if somehow today I could get everybody to not be extreme in the exchange.
Yes.
Politically speaking and otherwise, right? Imagine if you could just soften that whole thing right now. I mean, immediately the world would be a much mellower place.
Oh my God.
Now
yes.
it doesn't changing, and the extreme. My great grandmother used to say, we would be in the 60s. We'd be sitting around the table, and Harry Carl's store is burning down in Watts, and everybody's panicking, thinking it's the end of the world. I mean, Harry Carl was sweating bullets, and we had extra security. I mean, they thought the riots were coming into Beverly Hills. I mean, the world was over, and everybody was panicking. My grandmother was like, you all need to calm down. We thought that during World War I. We thought that during World War II, this was the end of the world. We thought Adolf Hitler was the Antichrist. We thought the world was coming to an end. We thought we'd all going to speaking German any minute now, or Japanese. But then she said, this too shall pass. Like, it's going to pass. The world is not going to end. If Joe Biden stays in office, the world is not going to end. If Donald Trump gets in office, the world is not going to end. We have a system of government that protects even for what you might view as an extreme thing happening. That's why you have 3 branches of government. That is why we are here as the jury. The ultimate thing, is the 12 men true, is really, in the end, if you try all these things out and it goes to court, we get to decide. And then ultimately we get to decide at the ballot box. Fire them all if you don't like it. Right? Vote it out. Donate money to your causes. Vote the way you think it should be. I could care less. I want you to just look at everything in a proper light, though. My great-grandmother, this too shall pass.
Right. Well, you know what? That's a great saying. And if you say that to yourself when you're going through something
really difficult.
Something really difficult, you just constantly remind yourself, this too shall pass. And it does, and it will, and there's no doubt about that. If I could, I just want to take a minute because one of our people in the audience, that one of our family members, Amy Carr, lost her mom today, and it was quite suddenly, and she doesn't have any brothers or sisters, and so, this is a hard moment for her. So if everybody would just send Amy Carr some good vibes and
Nice.
lots of love, and because that's it's just so hard. I think when you lose your mom, as the person that brought you into the world, as you well know, I know, and many of you know, it's a hard one, and it's never easy to lose either parent. But the mother, it's like you wouldn't be here without her, So I just. I don't think Amy would probably
Well, I
be
don't know,
watching
though.
right
You
now,
see,
but we just send you
politically
so
speaking,
much
you're not allowed to
love.
say that anymore. I mean,
What's that?
without your mother, you wouldn't be in the world. You see, that would be considered sort of sexist, and I'm not sure if you can say that. I'm being facetious.
Of course.
But it shows how absurd it all is.
Yeah.
I would just say this to her, my mother and I were really close,
Yeah.
and boys and their moms, and supposedly fathers and their girls, and but mothers, like you say, is the mama, we
Yes.
call her. And so the cool thing though is have faith, that they're with you. That's the thing. You carry her around in your heart.
Yes.
And in your thoughts. We were talking about this with Don Miguel. He was making a statement about how life is like a dream, and then I always do dream about my mother and sister, and in unique ways. But that shows you how much a part of it is when your brain can actually concoct whole new encounters with family members and friends. I mean, it's amazing. You know how they come into your dreams?
Oh, they do,
But it's not like it's a playback of a pre-existing event.
no, it's almost
new.
it's a new message.
But it's all new,
Yes.
everything. But it's like it may be sort of a composite of a lot of things, but it is new dialogue and all kinds of. I mean, it's very unique.
One of my very longest time friends in the world, her name is Shar, and she's a very famous psychic. And I think most psychics are questionable, you know what I mean? But Shar I've known her for I've actually known her for over 40 years now. And she's a remarkable woman in so many ways. But she very much subscribes to that we are visited by our loved ones in our dreams because they are able to communicate with us in that sense, in that way. There's, I guess,
I don't have a problem with that.
It's a consciousness of some sort that, so.
Well, if you think about it like this, your body is asleep.
Yeah.
Right? It's shut down. You're zonked.
Yeah.
But yet you're visualizing and experiencing things. So the notion that you could be communicating with these loved ones is not hard to imagine, because you no longer are hindered by your eyes and your hands and your ears. The senses, when you're on earth, will mess you up. You can't comprehend things. Can you comprehend the things that Einstein comprehends, mathematically speaking? To this day, people are still trying to disprove things that Einstein figured out 50, 70 years ago. And they can't do it. They're like, oh my God, this guy is still like, no one can understand what the guy was talking about. He was like on another level. But that's what it's like. When your body is out in the open, that you look around you, you can't possibly comprehend the spirit realm, the other dimension, whatever you want to call it.
Okay, so the other night, I did not sleep at all. I could not get to sleep. 11
Well, you
o'clock,
had
12
closet
o'clock,
and
1
closet
o'clock.
cleaning
No,
things.
I mean, and I knew I wasn't going to sleep. I was laying in bed, and I thought, I need to get up and do something because I'll go insane if I just lay here. And so I got up, and I went into our bathroom and closet area, and I'd been working on it that day, and it was a total disaster. It looked like an episode of Hoarders Buried Alive. I mean, it was so bad.
Not that bad.
No, it was that bad. I had tunnels on the way to the closet, and it's just been. And so I just looked at it, and I looked at my watch, and it was 1 o'clock in the morning, and I thought, I can't sleep. I think I'll just do this, and I started to work on it, and I started throwing things away, and it was about a 2-hour job, but I thought to myself, wow, this is great, because nobody's calling me, nobody's texting me. It's 1 o'clock in the morning. I don't have anything on my mind. And I just got focused on what I was doing. And all of a sudden, I realized that my consciousness was starting to go into a place I had never been before. I started feeling this euphoria and joy and I thought, what is going on? I'm cleaning the bathroom.
Well,
I'm organizing and throwing away.
Can be a fun thing.
But the thing is that as each minute passed, it became more and more and more this euphoric.
As more countertop was exposed?
Yeah, but it didn't have anything to do with what I was doing. It's like there's another layer, another sphere of spirituality. You know what I mean? It was like a strangest thing. And I remember thinking, what is happening here? I'm in this amazing space in my head and my heart. And I started getting all these crazy, great messages. And, that were coming through my heart, my consciousness. And I remember, and it was like nothing could touch the love I was feeling. Nothing could touch the joy I was feeling. It was the most wonderful thing. And I realized that I was all by myself and just enjoying this moment.
I'm starting to feel like there's a new book in this.
I got to tell you,
Is the title Happiness Through Cleaning Your Bathroom or Closet?
Come on, get happy in your bathroom. That's right. But it was unbelievable. And
Well, you have that one audio CD you did that was
spiritual reconnection through prayer.
So spiritual reconnection through cleaning your bathroom.
Just get people motivated. But I don't know what realm it was I was in.
Are there any questions, by the way,
But I'll
that
take
you
that. Do
wanna-
we have any questions about
'cause
anything?
we've
Because we've been prattling and rattling along.
See any particular questions?
Everybody went to sleep long ago?
No, there's a lot of people here, a lot of people are sending Amy their condolences.
Yes, good.
Oh, and speaking of other things that went haywire, Frank had a flood.
Joanne Savino, PR, HQ of
What are we doing here?
JWJB.
Joanne Savino is one of our people, or maybe, and she's calling me on Facebook right now. I'm sorry, Jojo, but I can't take the call.
Okay, so
Yeah.
Frank Ferruccio had a flood today.
Oh,
Frank Ferruccio had a flood today that wiped out part of his collection.
oh my gosh.
It had like a water pipe burst in the walls and caused severe damage.
That is
So I
brutal.
was hooking him up with some people and some advice on how to maybe restore or protect some of this stuff. But
Oh, Frank.
imagine, how devastating that is.
Oh, that is
So there's a couple things we can replace for him, but a lot of what he has, as you know, is irreplaceable.
Oh,
I think from what I read, I don't think that his costumes were.
No, but posters, paper, catalogs, autograph stuff. The stuff that's on the walls, I think, was good. It was whatever was near this closet. But still, I know that would be devastating not as devastating as losing your mother, but
No,
it's
but-
all relative. These are
well,
your
these
children
are
of sorts.
rare artifacts. So
It's like
that's,
it's his children, right?
yes. Kevin Smith, I loved your post. I have wonderful dreams of both grandmothers and my mom and the cats I had. My mom and both grandmothers loved animals, and it helps having 4 sweet foster adopted cats that are with me now. Kevin, you're our kind of peeps. That's all I've got to say. We love,
and dreaming
we love
about
our
pets
animals.
is exactly true. I do that all the time too.
Yep. Patty Hughes, I've had so many dreams about my parents, and they all make me feel happy to have heard from them. I love that, Patty. I love you, Patty. I miss you. Good. Everyone is talking to Amy Carr, so maybe she'll see this at some point. And, Cassandra Carroll is here. Hello there. It's so good to Sue Solo. We got a lot of our good people here, and it's so good to see you all. Very good. And Liz Cochran, where are you? Why aren't you here?
Excuse me.
That's what I said to her the other night.
Excuse me.
Bless you. When the other night we were talking to Liz. She was in the audience, and I said, "Get over here." And
And she came and
she walked through the door 12 minutes later. Huh?
Now,
And she
speaking
showed
of
up.
that, what you had a claim sale today?
We have a claim sale, yes, there was one today, there's one tomorrow, and then.
So that's unusual to do a claim sale on a Saturday.
Well, because we were all in LA last week, and Ryan and I figured we would double up last
Oh, yeah, that's true. We didn't have any last weekend.
So we have a claim sale tomorrow, but we have some auction items that we're starting to list.
They're already listed.
They're already listed.
What are they?
I don't know. Let's go through them.
Well, they're, let me pull the photo.
Oh, Ryan, you're going to be here soon. I cannot believe that it is almost the end of June. What on earth? And speaking of Earth,
And there it is.
There it is.
I
That's
wanted it
right.
to go right on cue.
Well, that was weird.
No, it was right on cue.
That's right.
That's called right on cue.
Yes. So let's see. What else?
Why don't I just give them and show them to you, because we have them right here. All that I-
You can do
Okay.
that, sure.
Seth, you are looking extra something special
Oh, I gotta
today.
bring up-
Yes.
You got to bring up that fader.
I love that shirt. Yes, that's right. Okay, so we're going to switch on over to.
I got to bring his mic is not on. We got to turn.
You're turned on, so come sit
Seth's
down with
handheld.
me. Sit.
Oh, no, that's his seat. I'll
It's
just-
okay, he's
I'll
not
sit
in
at
it.
your feet,
All right.
like you
Oh.
did with Debbie.
I used to sit at her feet constantly. So, okay,
I'll
so
just
what are
plop
these?
myself oh, hello, America. I'm right there. Oh, isn't that nice?
Yeah, you're on.
Oh, the wig's in place. That's wonderful.
Okay.
Okay, so the first item, I don't have the numerical order right now, but they're all on the Debbie Reynolds Hollywood Studio Store page on Facebook that you can become a member of today just by going and joining. And we will let you in. But the first one, which you told us actually this story, I think, last week about this particular
Well,
item.
this
Do you
is
wanna
pretty
tell them?
rare because it is. No, go back where you were. You were fine. Go back where you were. You're fine. No.
There we are.
Okay, so you see, it's rare because it's signed and it's the original Irene program. These are the programs I used to sell, and it's the programs are hard to find. And this is mint. You got a picture in there. Did you add that?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, but this, finding an early signature of hers in a program like this, I don't think we have very many. I think I might have one
No,
other
I
one.
think
This
that's
might be
the
it.
only one.
And then you wanted to put the album with
And
it.
then, of course, because we have a lot of those from your mom's
Other
collection.
camera, Cat's camera. Cat's camera. There you go. So this is an original show album. It's got Alice Blue Gown, I'm Chasing Rainbows, Irene, and You Made Me Love You. Really good stuff. I believe my mother's voice in this was in the best
Top form.
form ever. I really do. I think it was fantastic.
Well,
And-
when you sing
I
a
can't-
show
I-
8 times a week,
But you know what they
yes,
didn't?
It gets you
You know what they
boned up.
don't have in here is life may be bigger than Park Avenue, Park Avenue.
Park
da. That's
Oh,
a
the
great,
world must be
the
bigger
world
than it.
must
No,
be
I think
bigger.
they do. It's the whole album.
No, but it's not on the best.
Oh, it's not
to
on the
me,
front.
that's like a killer song.
Oh, no,
the
that is
world
a great
must be
song.
bigger than Park Avenue.
It's a-
Park Avenue. Da-dum.
Yeah, it's really a shame they never filmed this show.
Well,
because
we videotaped it, but it's crap.
you can't film Broadway
You're not,
shows.
you're
That's
not
the whole
allowed to. They take
theater
it
guild
once
law.
for the archives.
But they really should allow
no
it
one-
because
but no one
it's a
is allowed
shame.
to.
There's a
Yeah.
So what's the lot? The album?
So the lot
By the
is
way,
the
album is
album.
sealed. This is collectible, so it's literally a mint sealed album and a mint program.
Yes, and from what 1973?
Well, I was
74?
15, so 73. Yeah.
Yep. So that's this lot, and then we have right behind you on that little shelf right there 2 items that are going up for auction.
Well, this is really cool.
Those are go together.
What
They
does
go
this and this?
Yeah,
together
those two.
like
Okay,
a
so
llama,
this-
llama, llama, ding, diddy, ding, da, dong.
This
still
is
can't get the
actually a
lyrics.
very, very fine, made by a company called Steeff, Stieff, sterling silver, little kind of like a tchotchke tray or something you'd put your jewelry in
Yeah,
or
you
whatever.
put your rings
but
in
it's
there.
it's beautiful sterling silver, and it's got all of the. I don't know. Does this camera get closer over here? There's a close-up camera. Put it with Carrie's close-up camera, Buck. See it? It's one of your close-up cameras. Nope, the other one. Yep. Nope. Go back to Carrie and the droids.
Back one.
I'm looking at it right now. It's 3 droids. I can see it from here. There are 3 droids.
3 droids
You
and
have an
Shirley MacLaine.
R2D2. All right, I'll do it myself. You don't see that on your monitor, Buck. Man, it's right there.
He just had. I saw it.
Just go through all of them until you find it. Just
One more?
One more.
Buck's
Keep
gonna,
going.
He's going to quit.
Just go through them all.
Oh, there's the Golden Gate Bridge.
Jesus Christ.
San
All right, I'm taking over.
Francisco.
Just
All right,
stop what
hold
you're
on.
doing.
Elizabeth Gandy. It's
Right
almost
there.
her birthday.
This is the close-up. Hey, Seth, if you want to zoom in on that
Sure,
real
why
quick.
don't you let me get the camera?
We'll just zoom in on it now that we've probably found the camera. Do you see which camera that is now, Buck?
Yeah, you're on it.
It's called Close-Up, CU.
Yeah,
But-
close-up.
CU. Now zoom in on that for me, Seth. Oh, look at that. Now you're getting there. And focus up when you get closer even.
All right.
It's got to show the folks at home how it's done.
Get even closer. So here's I got my fingerprints all over it, obviously. But this is a pretty cool item. This little item,
It's dusty.
well, it's dirty with fingerprints, but you can see all the little sterling symbols on it and all of that. But it's a really nice little, it's heavy too. So, the sterling alone, you can come out now, Buck. So this was a Greenway House item. By the way, there's only one of these. There's no more of these. So it says Williamsburg Steve Sterling on the back, and there's some other stamps on it as well. It's a very nice little thing. It might even be from this could go back to the Conway house. This might be like one of the wedding gifts with Eddie and Debbie, and then we're going to give a little picture signed to go with it. So if you're collecting, this would make a nice little display item for somebody.
Yes.
Then you've got what?
Well, that one's really neat because that's from that bag of sterling silver jewelry.
This is.
Carrie's.
So this is Carrie's, and you could tell because her wrist is so small, you couldn't even possibly get it.
I have a small wrist as well.
But we have okay, we're going back to the close-up camera, Buck. Okay, I'll come in there. So this is addressed. Let's see if I can
Oh, wait, let me.
just try to, there you go. This is to the Greenway House address. So to Carrie at that address. So it's got a date stamp on it of 1967. So she's 11 years old. Come back to me. And there's a note in here. So Eloise Halderman, this is a note written to Carrie, but addressed to the Greenway House. Dear Carrie, you're a doll. Teachers use lots of red pens. So obviously this is, Mrs. Halderman. This was, so she was a teacher at El Rodale. This is one of our elementary school teachers. Thanks so much for the pens and pencil set. Best wishes to you and your family for a 1968 filled with much happiness. Eloise Halderman. So Haldeman. So this was a note written to Carrie, a thank you note from her teacher at El Rodale. And this was a piece of jewelry out of the same era. This is what looks like sterling silver. Is it marked? Yeah, it is. So this was a little bracelet that she had from the same time frame. We can go close up on that too. Let's go over here. So there you go. Now that's a very small bracelet. That's not fitting on just anybody. You could probably wear it.
yeah,
But I mean, you have to have
tiny
very
wrist.
small. Let's see if Kat can wear it.
Let's see.
Because I can guarantee you that most people could not wear
You have big
this.
wrists?
Here.
I have teeny weeny wrists.
No, you might be able to wear it.
Let's see. Yep.
Yeah. Okay, so show that.
So
Just
see
show her.
that?
Just show it. Yeah, here
That's
you
a
go.
beautiful bracelet. It's real.
You want to keep it? Should I
Remember
pull
when
it?
we used to, you don't see them that often anymore. There's so many different kinds of bracelets, but these old bracelets that open and you put your arm in it and
Well,
it
you see how it
closes.
has the chain, so
Classic.
so you wouldn't lose
has
it.
the chain.
No, this is a very fine piece of jewelry.
It is, and it's mint.
Are you sure it's sterling and not white gold?
No, it's marked sterling.
Okay, good.
It's beautiful.
So it has a little,
Yeah.
very high-end clasp release right here, and then it has a chain
Yep.
that keeps you from losing it. So it's a pretty cool. Anyway, we had 4 or 5 pieces of sterling stuff that we found of Carrie's, and then right out of El Rodale. I've never sold anything with the Greenway House address on it and Carrie's name ever. Miss Carrie Fisher, 813 Greenway. So this is a historic little piece that'll be up on the auction. What else you got on The Price Is Right?
We have, a model coming to this.
Well, you cannot do.
Look at who's
let her,
coming in.
Now,
Channing Brown.
Turn it and then turn around to the camera, and I'll tell. So there you go. So everybody needs a James Bond poster, and they're kind of. So
He
never
looks
say never
beautiful.
again. It's kind of cool because this is when Sean Connery had quit, saying, all right, I've done enough of that. I don't want to be typecast as James Bond. I think he kind of went home like Carrie did and realized that he is James Bond. And so he went back and made another one, not to mention the money.
The movie that?
Huh?
That's why they called the movie Never Say
It
Never.
is. And they kind of wrote it into the story. And he was a little older, but, to me, like Carrie is Princess Leia, Sean Connery's James Bond. I'm sorry, everybody else that played James Bond is not
no, for me,
James
the
Bond.
same, right.
Everybody else is somebody else. They should have said you're 009 or 12 or whatever. But 007 James Bond is Sean Connery. So, this thing's in mint condition, or it looks like it is, right? It's in really good shape.
Really great condition.
No, it's
It's got a
gorgeous.
few little blemishes, but it's in really nice shape. So that's an insert, or because it's half of a poster.
I love this font. It's very retro.
And who else is in it with her? So who are the girls? It says Max von Sydow is in it. Barbara Carrera, Kim Basinger.
Oh my God.
So I remember that now. Yes. So that's pretty cool. All right, now you give her the next one.
Everybody, this is Channing Brown.
She's our poster model. She specializes in modeling posters.
Eat your heart out, Vanna
if you're in
White.
Dallas and you ever want extensions, she's the best there is. The best.
Does she do your extensions?
She does indeed, from the very beginning.
So there you go.
She did this with my hair was like a bush, because I washed it and we ran out into the heat. When we came in, she had 2 minutes, and she gave me a beach wave.
Oh,
in 2
that's
minutes.
cool.
Yeah.
So this is a really cool. Blake Edwards directed this. Victoria starring, of course, starring Julie Andrews. A very fun kind of film, and I believe this is the one where she shows her breasts, isn't it?
No, that's
SOB. Okay, so no breasts. Sorry about that.
no breasts.
That's too bad. At any rate, obviously a comedy. It says, but this thing's in very good shape as well. And I think if you're a fan of Julie Andrews, this is a pretty cool little movie. Robert Preston's in it. James Garner. Oh, I remember this one. This is the one where she plays a man, even though she's a woman, but she's acting like she's a man, being a woman, even though she is a woman.
Yes.
Which is like perfectly understandable. And then James Garner falls in love with him, thinking that it's a guy, but it's it's a her. But he doesn't understand why he has these weird feelings towards her. He's starting to say, "Geez, this is kind of strange." And then it turns out she's actually a girl, and so all those weird feelings were legit as it relates to a heterosexual perspective.
I love
so
the
very
stage show,
complicated.
too.
That's complicated stuff.
Yeah, it's a complex storyline.
Oh,
It
yeah.
is.
They're all original. So
Music by Henry Mancini. I mean, it's pretty cool. Anyway, fun little movie. So if you want, that's going to go up. That's a fun poster. We have some posters like this that are like DR Studios posters. I mean, these are the kinds of things that were popular on the walls of DR Studios. We started taking them out of the frames and things because
look how big this poster is. You can see it to scale.
well, that's a normal one-sheet poster.
Right, but it's so striking.
And for those of you who have lip fetishes, this is perfect. Okay, good for that. Anything else?
Yeah, and the last one is this one here. Now this is
Oh, yeah. Give her that one. Trade. Now this is a really cool. In fact, this one. Why don't you use the camera on this one, and we use the other camera,
How
and we'll.
great is that?
So what happened with this one is my mother went to the re-release premiere in 2000 of Singing in the Rain, and they gave her this poster, and she got 2 of them, and I was like, when I saw it, I went, that is one of the coolest Singing in the Rain posters I've ever seen. I love the aspect ratio. I just thought it was campy and fun and cool. And so it's not old, so it's not, this is not thousands of dollars. Like if this was the original Singing in the Rain from the 50s, it'd be thousands and thousands of dollars. So these are a more affordable way to have a Singing in the Rain poster, and this was one of Debbie's. Now, this is mine, framed. The one we're selling is the same poster, though. Exact same poster.
So unframed.
Unframed, because this would be expensive to ship, obviously. But I actually had it linen back, too. You see how this is on linen? So if I linen back something, it's because I'm planning to keep it forever. So the other one we have is not linen back, so that was the second one, and you have that one, right? So that's the one we're auctioning. So I think for a Singing in the Rain poster, you know, and you're not going to want to spend 10 grand. This is fantastic.
Yeah.
You know, because this is certainly not that, but it's still rare. You know, there are not a million of them around because it was a limited re-release of the movie, and the fact that it's Debbie's is kind of cool. So anyway, that's a fun item.
Well,
What?
that's all she wrote.
And that's all she wrote.
Yeah. Now,
Okay.
yesterday was Nikki Luongo's birthday. Nikki Luongo, who makes me laugh a lot. And tomorrow is Elizabeth Gandy's birthday. So I think
You want to
that
go
we
ahead and get that out of the way?
yeah, I want to go ahead and sing, the Carrie Fisher birthday to them
But
right
before
now.
we do that, I have to vocalize a little bit.
Okay. Me.
Me do 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 do
And
do do.
you too,
do,
Seth.
do, do, do,
You too,
do.
Channing.
We're doing the happy birthday thing.
Okay, here we go.
Ready?
To Nikki Luongo and Elizabeth Gandy, we love you
Royalty
both.
reasons.
And
You
it's
start
your
it, we'll come in
special
with you.
days. Make it a whole month. Here we go. And
Oh, it's a long one.
Running out of time.
dang, that was a lot. That was nearly
That's a
Didn't take
lot
breath
of
before
half.
going.
happy birthday.
I don't know that
to
anybody's
both
ever
of
gotten that
you.
much half.
Right. Happy birthday.
What's that you say about Tony Roma's?
Oh, I cannot eat any more.
No, there's
Tony
a problem.
Romas. I cannot.
We went all the way to Tony Roma's the other day, and they didn't have the onion loaf. That
I
was
thought
up.
you were going to.
I almost walked
lose.
out.
I know. I mean,
Redlining
if
at
I
the-
see
at the
another
onion
Tony
loaf, I
Roma's
understand
rib,
that.
I think I'm going.
It's
I
not
am
about.
burnt out.
It's not only about the ribs.
I'm
It's the
burnt
entire experience of
out
the
on
onion
it.
loaf, the corn on the cob, the French fries, and the ribs. And if you don't have them all, then forget it.
Well, I'm making dinner tonight. All of you. Do you have to run off, Seth?
I have to work.
He's got a
tonight.
show in 5
You have a
minutes.
I've got
show?
a show.
Oh, that's right.
Yes, I'm going to Boulder City to chase UFOs with Shirley MacLaine.
I love Boulder City.
Hey, you know who lives? A lot of people dig Boulder
I
City.
love
I love
Boulder
Boulder City.
City.
It's a great town.
It is
It's a really
45
great town.
minutes away, and it's like a whole nother little world. I love
you'd
it
love
there.
See, Desi Arnaz Jr. lives there.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people do. It's a really great town, and they have really great places that entertainers go and entertain. And
So there's a great view of the
antique
lake
shops.
from a lot of
Yeah.
places.
Yep.
Yeah, it's really gorgeous.
I'm cooking steaks tonight.
Oh, well, now I'm really mad. I'm going.
I
Yeah,
am.
she
I'm
is
gonna.
the best cook
I
for
hope we
steak.
have gas in the grill because I'd like to use the real grill tonight, not the smokeless
We
grill.
have gas in the grill, but I'm not going outside to turn it on.
So, you know what? And also, Liz Cochran, man, that girl can cook. Okay.
Oh, yes.
And she
That
has been
quiche.
on this special diet, Dr. Gundry's diet, and so she's had to learn how to cook in a whole, another way. And she's been bringing us what she eats. So she's been bringing us quiche that is just, I mean, she's lost a lot of weight.
It's breadless quiche. There's no
Breadless
bread
quiche,
in it.
But it's just incredible. Anyway, so Liz and I are going to do a cooking with lizard and cat because we have a great kitchen for that. Do we not?
We have a great kitchen, period.
Yeah. And so I was
even
thinking
Todd English
how
cooked in
great.
it.
Yes,
You had
That's
Todd
right.
English in your kitchen.
I did. And what? That's Nugget fell
You-
asleep with his
In his
face in
food.
his food.
You had Carrie Fisher in your kitchen.
Oh, Carrie
Carrie
was
trashed
a
the
really
place.
Carrie trashed the kitchen. She didn't mean to.
No, she just never
Yeah.
ever had to clean up. So she used to, and she baked. So the
She
flour
was a great,
and all that.
She made great. What do they call? Your mom called them
Banana
poofs.
fritters,
She was
souffle.
Souffle.
souffles. She made souffles. Great pies, and she came over for Thanksgiving, and she flew in Thanksgiving morning, and on the way to the house she texted me and she said, "Do you have?" It was some kind of mixer, and I don't bake.
A KitchenAid.
Yeah,
mixer.
KitchenAid. And I said, no, I don't because I don't bake. So she said, I'll get one on the way to the house. And I said, it's Thanksgiving. Where are you going to get that? And she shows up with a KitchenAid in her arms. She found one. And then just the kitchen, oh my gosh, I will
That's
never
when she
forget
broke your
that day.
iPad.
Yeah, my iPad. I had just bought the iPad 2 days before. And she got her hand caught in the KitchenAid, remember?
Well, in the hinge when it went back.
Yeah, and then she knocked my iPad on the floor and it cracked. And I was like, it's okay. She was like, I'm sorry. I'm like, it's okay. And there was flour from one end of the kitchen to the other.
Now, she would do that at home, but there were always like a staff of people running around behind her cleaning
Right.
up.
And I just looked at the kitchen at one point and I thought, you just got to let go. Just let go. It's okay. Because our kitchen, you can see in the dining room, you can see the kitchen. So I try to cook and clean as I go so that people don't have to look at it. And I just let go that Thanksgiving. It was just.
But was the dessert good? That's the question.
Always.
It
She always
was.
made great desserts. By the way, we didn't really say when the auction's ending. And next
I'm
week.
sorry. The auction will end next Saturday.
Okay, so
it's
we'll
up
end it
from
on the
tonight.
show next week.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay, you going to be here next week?
Yes, I will
Okay.
be here next week. I will be home on Thursday.
Okay.
I am going to LA again, but
Oh,
not
that's
LA.
right.
I'm going to, where am I going?
We got it on the
Valencia,
record.
Calabasas, I don't remember. I'm shooting a
Well,
commercial for
Valencia-
Ring My Bell.
Valencia and Calabasas are not far from the Reagan Library.
I know. And then I'll be back there the following week because we're going to be at the Reagan Library and Museum on July 8th. If anybody's in California, any of you are in California or anywhere near the Reagan Library and Museum, we are going to be there all day on July
Well,
8th.
actually the event is the evening, I believe.
Right, but it's not open to the public, is it?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
No.
So, but we'll be there. And,
some of the time during
And
the
we
day.
would love to meet you if you're there. And that's my happy place, so I'm real excited about
It's
going.
a fun place.
Yeah.
In fact, I just talked to the curator there, and they sent me some really cool pictures, if you recall.
Mm-hmm.
And one of them is with my mother in that outfit. Right.
Can you get it on
that
your
out. Point at
computer?
that, would you please? Point.
Point?
Point. Thank you.
Okay.
That outfit, meeting with the Reagans at no, that's fine. You're good
Okay.
there. And meeting with the Reagans, and then they said they found Nancy's outfit from the same get-together.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so at some point we'll put those together on display at the Reagan
Can you,
Library.
do you have them in your computer?
No, but I have them on my phone, which I could link and over. Now that we're done with, are we doing? We're not doing randomizers. So
No,
We are.
we're-
Ryan's is doing it as we speak.
Ryan
and
is doing it.
texting
He's
it
just
to
not
me.
here with us, so he's
Yeah.
texting you the names, right? So we
Okay.
have 8 wieners to announce coming up. When you entered the room, if you're new here, your name was automatically entered into the randomizer, which is a pretty cool digital little kind. It's kind of like a wheel almost. It is a wheel, but it randomly chooses the 8 names that we will be disclosing in a moment, and you will get your prize. If you win, please go ahead and go ahead and write me at Facebook Messenger because I may not have your address. Tell us what you won and leave us your address, and we will send them to you.
Okay.
All right. So
So
we
here
go.
is-
Let me see this.
here are the pictures. So there's my mom with Nancy.
Oh, with this dress. It's so
Yeah.
beautiful.
Buck, Punch Apple TV.
There you go.
Buck. No, you're not there.
There it is.
No, that's me. There you go.
Okay.
So there's my mother in that outfit that we were just looking at on stage here, and then Nancy's with her, and I'm not sure who that is.
Looks like
Looks familiar though. Now there she is with Mr. Reagan, or President Reagan, and they're meeting some foreign dignitary. Look at Reagan's face, isn't that cute?
Yep.
And then there she is later with Nancy and the same person. So they found these pictures, and look who this is with Nancy.
There's me right there. And that was 1980.
And look who's
Yeah.
who's back here.
Oh, I just had a Vietnam flashback. Thanks a lot. I'm just kidding.
Now, isn't it interesting though that you're wearing kind of a see-through black
Lace.
thing, and my mother is wearing a see-through black lace thing too.
Yes, yes. And the
So,
earrings.
but they found this for me. It wasn't. This was a, something that they sent to me just because we were talking about costumes and such. But
She was so lovely.
a very nice lady too.
Oh
Look
my
how pretty
gosh.
she is.
Yeah. She
So-
was a great first
I
lady.
wonder what happens if I go this way. It gets kind of big.
Yeah.
Kind of. It isn't the right aspect
I
ratio.
think if I could recall what year that was, for me anyway, it was 1985 or 6, I think.
Asking, that wasn't at the same event.
No,
No,
they're
no,
not.
no. We
Well,
weren't
in
at the
fact,
same event.
what-
They sent these were pictures that were in the archives at the Reagan Library.
Right, so I had sent them a picture of my mother at an event,
Mm-hmm.
and then they sent this back to me
Yeah.
saying, "Oh, this was your mother, at that same event." So they had a picture, other pictures, that I did not have. So now I get to add that to my archive, and so that's kind of fun, right? That I get to add these, we get to
Yeah.
add it to our stuff.
I'm really happy that he found those. Those are great.
I had a question for you, Todd, from someone who's a fan of your mom's. He was asking about, it's lost in here, but he was asking basically if you had any memories of her as Charlotte in Charlotte's
Oh,
Web.
for sure.
And what...
For sure. So my mother played Charlotte in Charlotte's Web. She just played the spider's voice. And I remember, I didn't go to the theater to see it. They actually had a screening of it at our house at Greenway. And I was fairly young. I don't know what year that was, but I was still pretty young. And so we're watching the movie, and we're all falling in love with Paul Lynde doing the rat. He had that whiny kind of voice. And then my mother had this beautiful, soft-spoken female spider voice. And we're loving this movie, and then it gets around to the part where she starts talking about the cycle of life and how she has to go. And I got so upset.
Aw.
It was like, I was just like, I can't watch this. Because your mother is talking about why she has to leave. And one day one day we all die, and you're trying to explain this to your friends and family. And so it was very personal to me. But it's a very deep movie. I mean, the movie is...
Do you know I've never seen it?
Oh, it's very deep.
I didn't think I could handle it. I was so sensitive. I'm much less so. But when I was young, I don't know why, but I was very sensitive about the plight of other people, and when people were sick or people, I could hardly handle it. I think I was very. I don't know what the word is, but you feel other people so deeply.
Yeah, empathy.
Empathetic, but it's an empath. That's what it was. So when I was very little, I would feel other people.
But you
so
still do it to this
deeply.
day when there's an animal being hurt.
Well,
or
animals,
worse.
yes.
She has to leave
but
the
look
room.
how good I've gotten, because I'm rehabilitating animals now, and
No, I get all
and
that.
so I've gotten much better, and
I
I've gotten
don't-
way better with people. Things don't bother me because I've learned to I can still be an empath, but I don't have to.
I think it's...
I don't have to. I realize that I can't help people if I am in their feelings, their emotions. I can't help them unless I can stand back and see, witness, and feel, but witness and hear them, and and all that. So I'm much, much better as an adult. But as a kid, I could not see Charlotte's Web because I didn't think I could handle it.
Well, she has her, "Hello, dear, this is your mother" voice.
Well, when Gillian came to stay with us at the ranch once, Gillian that used to run Cat Cosmetics, she came out to see us once, and your mom was also at the house. And your mom was asleep, and Gillian and I were in her room, and we were sitting on the floor looking at something, and all of a sudden your mom got up, and she came out into the hallway, and she was calling someone or talking to someone. It might have been you. And Gillian looked at me, and she goes, "Oh my God, it's Charlotte." That was her favorite movie. And so she heard your mom's voice, and she immediately thought of Charlotte's Web. And it really meant a lot to her, to
In our
hear it.
collection in the house, I have a little plaque that Carrie made many years ago that was on the wall at the ranch for 35 years. And it says, "Hello, dear." Because that's how my mother, when she would call Carrie or I, all through our whole life, even when we were younger, "Hello, dear, this is your mother." Like we didn't know her voice. I mean, you didn't have to say, "This is your mother." You could say, "Hello, dear," and we would know who it was. But she had to say, "Hello, dear, this is your mother."
Well, I have a question for you. Hey,
That's be-
Linda Weger, it's good to have you here. Linda was the friends of mine that came while I was out of town, and you gave them the tour and went to see Donny Osmond that night. So
Right.
she's here with us tonight. Hi, Linda. Lots of love to you. John Eric St. James. It's a question that's kind of a little bit interesting. I'm going to see how you deal with this. I have a question for Todd. How did Debbie meet Rip Taylor, and could you please speak about their friendship?
So my mother was going on tour. This is before Irene and all that. So this is like early 70s. And she was looking for someone that would be part of what she was doing, a little vaudeville show. So she was looking for a touring company, and she wanted a comedian for an opening act. And that is when they started working together. So this is like late 60s, early 70s. And so he started going out with her, becoming her opening act. And he was outlandish in those days. He was famous for throwing confetti on the audience. And long before Gallagher or any of those guys were doing any of this stuff, he was throwing things on people. But he was pretty flamboyant.
Yes.
You know, and you know, he had a toupee, and he would take this towel and he put it under his head, and he would dry his head on stage. It was really cute. I mean, he was just a major character. But they kind of loved each other in this funny kind of way. They were very close. When we did the hotel, he became kind of a resident opening act for her. But, you know, literally for decades, he would become an opening act for her. And then she would use him for all kinds of things, Thalian Ball, whatever. You know, she would bring him in. And they were very funny together. They came up with some duet songs to do together that were comedy, very, very vaudeville-y like. And you know, he was devastated when my mother passed away. I mean, devastated. Partly because he had you know, not exactly, he had lost touch with her a little bit over the hotel fiasco.
Right.
And so, you know, he had bad feelings about something that happened there, and then he felt horrible.
Yeah. I actually answered the phone when your mom, I guess it was around the last day or two that she was here alive, and the phone rang at her house, and I answered the phone, and it was Rip Taylor, and he was crying, and he wanted to talk to her, but you know, she was asleep, and so I told him that, you know, she was asleep, and I didn't think I should wake her up, and Carrie was in the hospital, so it was a really hard time, but he wept, you know, on the phone. And
so I'll do something in honor. Can I get you to participate? Turn on your mic. I'm going to do something in honor of Rip Taylor.
Okay.
We're going to do a Rip Taylor song.
Oh, Rip Taylor song.
But I need you guys to sing along.
Oh,
Okay, just
Okay,
tell
so
me.
I need you in the audience to sing these words at this rhythm.
all right, guys.
Ready, everybody? Thing be.
Oh.
Thing be. Thing be. Thing be.
Thing be, thing be.
Oh, the color of her hair
Thing be.
is a fiery,
Thing be.
fiery red.
Thing be.
Oh, the color
Thing
of her
be.
hair
Thing
is
be.
red.
Thing be, thing be.
If the color of her hair
Thing be.
is a fiery,
Thing be.
fiery red,
Thing be.
then what
Thing
must
be.
the color
Thing
of
be.
her?
Thing be.
That was one of his favorite bits.
I love
You know
that.
that routine?
I saw your mom do it one time. Then I sang it to her one time. So that's the funniest thing I've ever heard.
You know, I think
So
partly what's
hilarious.
funny about it is getting everybody to be the one that actually says the punchline.
It's
so the
hilarious.
audience is the one with the punchline.
That is
He's not doing
so
anything.
funny.
No.
I mean, you're the one who's saying "thing be," not him. You see, that's what's funny about it. But he had
How do you remember that?
because I watched the show 476,000 times. I remember a lot of his jokes, but I mean, he had, you know, he had a fantastic sense of humor. But he was slapsticky, you know. He used to do plays on words, you know, things like that, you know. So that was his thing.
Okay, now we are on the air for 90 minutes
Go
now.
for it. Let's
So I
close it
think
up.
we should give things away and say goodnight. But I just love you guys. I do. I'm just feeling so.
Oh, so you're going to just read the list and that's that? Oh,
No, we're going to give.
bring the
He's
stuff
gonna
up.
Channing's
Stuff
coming
to you
up to
guys,
be
and
our
I'll read
Carol
the
Merrill.
list.
If you're old enough
Why don't
to
you take my
remember.
chair?
The
Let
Price is
her
Right.
let her have my chair.
Come in.
No,
well,
let her have
there's
my
that
chair.
chair
No.
right there.
You don't need me for this. I'll watch the show
I
with
always
Buck.
need you
Yeah, I know, but not for them.
for everything.
Looks like a lot of cosmetic products. I'm going to let you guys do
Is it? We have cosmetic products. Channing, come up and will you not leave the show because people aren't ready to
Well,
say goodbye to
I'm
you?
not gone.
Okay. All right, Channing Brown, everybody in from Frisco, Texas, right outside Dallas. Look at this beautiful girl. She got in this morning, and she came in for our show tomorrow.
Oh, she needs to. Here, use the microphone, darling.
That's right, you don't have a microphone. There you go.
Testing. Hello, everybody. Especially you, Video Bob.
There you go. It'll be on tomorrow's headlines.
Yes.
Okay, so
Ready.
I am just so excited. We're going to give stuff away. This is one of my favorite parts of the show, of course. So the first winner is, and then I'll tell them what they won. Seth?
I'm sorry, I was just reading
The first winner.
the first winner. Who's the winner?
That's all that matters, is who's the winner?
Bobby Sizemore.
Bobby Sizemore, you are, that's B-O-B-B-I-E, Bobby Sizemore. You have won the large facial cleanser. It's called the Miracle Working Foaming Cleanser. Bobby Sizemore, this is my favorite cleanser in the world. It is from Cat Cosmetics, of course.
It takes makeup off like nobody's business.
You use it, right?
I put it in my shower, and every night I take it off, and I have eyelash extensions, and it's the only thing that doesn't take my eyelash
I was
extensions
wondering
off.
when you have eyelash extensions if you can use stuff like this.
Oh, yeah. This is so gentle. This is everything else I've ever used because I've used wipes and all the things. I just can stick my face over under the faucet. And
I
wipe
know,
it
me
off.
too. I love it. And here's why. Because if I had to work any harder at getting my makeup off, I probably would be too tired to do it every night. But this is like one and done. And Bobby, after that, it tones your face at the same time, leaving your skin so super soft. So Bobby Sizemore, go ahead and send me your address right here on my messenger, Facebook Messenger. And you will get that. It's going in the mail Monday morning.
Beautiful.
Next wiener?
The second thing is a $25 gift card.
Okay, so the next thing coming up is a $25 gift certificate to catcosmetics.com. That's catcosmetics.com, and we will need your email to send it to you. And no, we're going to tell them what it is right now.
His name is Kevin Smith.
Kevin Smith is the wiener.
Winning the cosmetics.
The men just want to look
Look,
good now.
Kevin,
They want the
I'm
good
going to guide you a
skincare.
little bit here, okay? I have the best skincare in the world. Period. I'm not kidding. I say that with humility, but it took me years to get it here. So I love this skincare. Now, Kevin Smith, there is something that you might really like that men like. There's two things men three. One is the moisturizer. It is a cream to gel moisturizer. You could get that. The other one is called No Baggage, and it's a treatment that goes under the eyes if you have any like puffy or circles under your eyes. Great product also for men. And the third thing is the Silk Perfection. Oh, yes. Guys love that. Remember, Todd, you used to sell the heck out of that, the Silk Perfection. Guys love that. So those are three of my recommendations to you, Kevin Smith. Go ahead and private message me here on my Facebook page your email address, and I will send that link to you. I'll send that to you, and you just go buy whatever your heart desires, all right?
Kevin is going to be looking fine.
Kevin's going to be looking good. And, okay, winner number 3.
And so winner number 3 is, let's see, Kathy Stokes.
Kathy Stokes, that's a new name.
No, she's not new. Kathy's been here for a long time.
for winning. I haven't. I
Oh,
don't
for the
remember
winner.
Kathy ever winning. I know she's been
Oh,
here, but anyway,
it's the hyaluronic.
that's right.
There you go.
Hyaluronic.
Speaking to the mic.
Hyaluronic.
The hyaluronic clarifying serum.
Hyaluronic face serum.
Serum, that's right. Now, hyaluronic is the best, most amazing thing for your skin. Who won this? Kathy?
Kathy Stokes,
Kathy
yes.
Stokes. So what you do, Kathy, is you put this on. I put it on sometimes and don't put anything on after it because it's so beautifully rich for a serum. But typically, you would put a serum on under a moisturizer if you have really dry skin. This is an amazing serum. You have one, and so I just want to tell you a little bit about it. You can use it every single day and every single night, and it really does hold the moisture into your skin, which is the whole point of a serum. So congratulations, Kathy Stokes. You are the winner of the Hyaluronic Miracle Working Serum. And so I'm going to need you to private message me your address.
funny.
Okay, next.
Next is, let's see, the cream to gel
Cream to gel
moisturizer, and it's
moisturizer.
going to Florence. That's how I have to say that Italian.
Florence?
Florence. I was
What's her
trying to be
last name?
fancy. Viveros.
Viveros.
'Cause she's
Florence
Italian.
Viveros. All right.
Florence. I can't roll my tongues today.
This is your new obsession?
The drenched.
Just
Yeah.
Yes, it's
Oh,
amazing.
but that and drenched are incredible. But you know what? Kevin, this is the moisturizer I was telling you about. It's the cream to gel. It's the Miracle Working Cream to Gel Moisturizer. It's amazing. It's great for everyone, but my everyone that loves it. But I have a lot of male friends that love this, and it's so great. And speaking of moisturizer, in 2 weeks, Elastin Collagen Cream will be back on the shelves. I'm so excited by this. So that is coming up. Congratulations, and please private message me your address so I can send that to you. All right,
And then I
next.
have the
Big
next
your
four,
products
Channing.
are.
Thank you.
Do you want to come grab the next four?
Yes, sir.
Yep, there we go.
All right. Or you'll do, okay, you'll do it. Okay, perfect.
Okay, here she comes. Okay, the next wiener is
The next winner is Rochelle Ream.
Rochelle Ream. You have won.
This is Debbie Reynolds.
The
What is it?
Unsinkable Molly Brown, Blu-ray.
My favorite Debbie Reynolds musical. I mean, I love them all, but this happens to be my favorite. The Unsinkable Molly Brown, and you are going to be getting this, so please private message me. Oh, Time Warner sponsors us for this, and so this is from Time Warner, and we want to give them a shout out because they have been so good to us since we started this show. Huh? Yeah, and I do encourage you to collect DVDs because it's fun to have a library, and we have one here, and we love it. And when people come over, they say, let's watch a movie, so we send them in, pick a movie, and they go in, and they just cannot believe because
You guys have the coolest collection.
yeah, we really do. But congratulations. Make sure you private message me your address, okay? Perfect. And
All right. The next is the Blu-ray copy of Hit the Deck
Hit the Deck by Warner Brothers.
from Time,
Time
Warner.
Warner.
And you know
Time
what's
Warner,
great? They
thank you.
restored these beautifully. The
This is a
Blu-ray
restored,
version, both Molly
Blu-ray.
Brown and Hit the Deck, they're beautifully
is this a
restored.
Blu-ray?
It's beautifully restored.
So the Molly Brown is a Blu-ray, and so is Hit the Deck a Blu-ray, and that's so beautifully restored. Technicolor, which I always love. Every time we watch an old movie, I can always tell what year it was from or what decade it was from because the new technology would come along, Technicolor, and then what was VistaVision, and there was just so many different ways that they would shoot movies, right? Well, I think after 14 years, I've learned a thing
He's
or two from you.
impressed.
That's
He's
right.
impressed.
Okay, and who won that?
Denise Nickel.
Denise Nickel. Is it Denise Nichols
Denise
or
Nickel.
Nickel?
Just one
Denise
nickel.
Nickel. Congratulations.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Hello, America. So good to see you all. Welcome.
That's right. Welcome. Denise, send me your address. Please private message me, and I will send that out to you on Monday. All right.
And then the next item is the memorial program
This is
that
so
you
pretty.
that
I was
you
just
designed,
looking at
Kat.
it.
Well, I will tell you that this program, if you would go to my camera, I will show it to you. Okay, there you go. This is the program to the memorial. I know some of you have this, but I designed this, and it kept me sane. So I was constantly, but I designed this program because I love this picture so much of Debbie and Carrie. And so this was the celebration of life that we did at the
Forest Lawn.
Forest Lawn, yeah, with the cemetery, which if you've never been, Forest Lawn in Burbank, I know Carlos Luvano goes all the time and sees the girls, and we really appreciate that. I'm going to go when I'm there next week, and I know Seth, we'll probably try to go.
Yeah, in
on the
July
8th,
we'll
yeah.
try to go.
But, I mean, not at the 8th, but maybe the 9th when
Yeah.
we leave. This is just a beautiful program, and this is the last picture. This is the last time that Debbie visited us. and she, was shooting, Todd was shooting something with Debbie. And so I don't know if you can get a little closer, I'm not really sure, but
It's a cute picture. He looks
it is.
so
And
happy.
Todd was directing his mom, and there she is. And there's Todd. And I love this moment because I was watching it as it was going on. And then, we just had the program here and what was going to happen. We had the Gay Men's Choir of Los Angeles. They were stellar. I mean, it was just amazing. And then on the back is Ricky LaChance's art that I found on Twitter right after they passed away. This artist, Ricky LaChance, put this on Twitter, and I found it and showed it to Todd, so I tracked him down, and he's been so great, with us, and we appreciate his beautiful art. And then it says, don't be afraid of death, be afraid of an unlived life. And I love that, because, you just got to live your life. You got to, no matter what. Scared about things or, just push through. You got to live your life and enjoy it. This is our one and only life as far as we know, so I always say, just live it to the fullest. So this is going to who?
Linda Factor.
Linda Factor. I'm going
Linda.
to be sending this. I did. I just talked about Ricky LaChance. That's his art. Yeah, I love this. The day after they passed away, I don't remember how, because I wasn't on social media at all, but somehow I think I went on there for some reason, and it was there, and people were retweeting it a lot. And so I saw it, and I said, oh my gosh, Todd, look at this. And Ricky was just great. So there you go. That is coming to you. Linda Factor, please message me your address, okay? And the next, is this the last one?
Is the last one,
last
Debbie's
one.
show program from Vegas.
Oh.
From the hotel.
All right. So the last gift is one of Debbie's show programs from when she had her hotel, and it is delightful. I mean, Todd, nobody's programs look like this. I mean, look how many pages it is.
That's amazing.
Yeah?
Describe what you're looking at there.
Oh, at RIP?
Well, they asked about Rip and
Okay. So I'll come back to the program in a second.
it's from the same.
We're just taking this was the crew from the Debbie Reynolds Hotel and Casino, and there is Debbie and Rip, and I have to put my glasses on to
Carrie.
see who else. Oh, of course, Carrie is there. Is that? It looks almost like Ruth Warwick.
I believe it
Is that Ruth Warwick? Phoebe on All My Children. So for those of you who didn't know, Ruth Warwick, who was Phoebe on All My Children forever, was in Irene with Debbie on Broadway. And it's so fun to see. I loved Ruthie. She was a hoot. Just a great lady. So the program is many, many pages, and it's just got so many great pictures in it. I mean, I'm skipping through it, but there's so many pages, and it's in mint condition. But I love this because it's just got so much in it. So who was the winner of this?
The winner is Carol, and Carol, I'm so sorry, I'm gonna butcher this last name. Muschitz. Muschitz.
How do you spell it? And I'll see if I
Muschitz.
Okay, Muschitz.
See, I didn't
Carol
do so bad.
Muschitz.
Carol Muschitz.
Okay, Carol, go ahead, please. And we're looking at the back of Seth's head there. Carol, go ahead.
the back of
and
the wig. Sorry.
It
send
looks
me
great.
your
The
send
tag's
me
not
your
sticking out.
address, private message me, and I'll get this out
So
to you
sorry.
on Monday. Well, thank you for sitting
I'm
in,
used to the
Shannon.
camera being up front.
And Seth and
Yes.
Todd,
Good night to
And Buck.
everybody.
Buck, now we're gonna have
who's
some
been
steak.
snapped at tonight because he wasn't as fast as Todd would like him to be. But, I'll tell you what, Todd, when you're like this, right, you made me a better everything. It's really
It's
true.
true.
No, it is true. I always enjoy
If
when
this is
someone
him-
makes me rise to some level,
If
you
this
know.
is him like this.
This is him like that.
You're still so nice and sweet.
Oh my
Like,
gosh, I have the best husband in the world.
The best.
I
I was
you know what?
telling Seth over there when you were talking, everything he was saying, he was just validating you constantly, and I was like, he just is like the best. He really
Okay,
is.
so for me, I wish for every woman who is interested in having a mate, because not everybody is, and that's okay, that you find yourself a Todd Fisher. Because, okay, I know you can't handle it, but it's true, because he is so great. He is, you know, I can be as happy as I am because I don't have anybody bringing me down,
Yeah.
which is what happens a lot in relationships where people just bring you down. You can't be yourself. You don't feel like yourself when you're with them. And, you know, I had to wait a half a century, but I hit the jackpot
we're gonna
because I
start
just have a
cloning
great
you.
husband. But you know what?
They're out there.
They're out there.
Yeah.
And, you know, you just have to have your head on straight and recognize a good man and be ready for a good man, because a lot of people, they grow up in chaos, and, you know, and I get this completely because that was me. And you don't know it, but your unfinished business is chaos, and you would never say, "Oh, I just live for chaos." You know, of course, nobody thinks that. You know,
Yeah.
but it's also unconscious, and it just is the way it is until you figure this out, and you take steps to change.
Hurt people,
Right? So, you know, I just really was in a place at 52 when I met Todd. I was in a place that I deserved a good person, deserved to be loved as much as he loves me, found, you know, the man that loves God like I do. And, you know, because you have to know what is important to you, because that's how you spiritually align yourself to another human being. But you got to know what you want, and you have to know what you don't want, and you also have to know that you deserve to have a good person in your life. And you do. You deserve it. All of you, to have a great person in your life. So that is all I have to say. And on that note, I will say good night to you. I love you so much. Thank you for coming to see us tonight. We know you have lots of other things you could be doing on a Saturday night, but we love that you come and do it with us, right? Tomorrow, Seth and I will be performing here in Las Vegas.
Oh, that's right.
And
That's
so if you
tomorrow.
want to know more about that, you can go to
I'm
either
gonna
one of our
start putting
Facebook pages.
my hair and makeup on now.
Be well, and I will see you this week. What is going on with the camera?
What's happening? Oh, well, good night, everybody. Well, sweetheart, but if you find a man, make sure he's a prince, well, darling. Well, make sure that,
on camera, go ahead.
unless he cuts the legs off, then it's terrible, darling. But I don't want to do that. But that's what he did to me, sweetheart, really. That's Zsa Zsa Gabor. She's dead.
Is that a preview of tomorrow?
That is.
Well, I don't do Zsa Zsa on the show. I would, but no one knows who she is anymore.
Oh,
but
our crowd does.
That's true. Well, I do Katharine Hepburn still in the show, really, you know, as a tribute to Debbie. I do Katharine. I love to do them all.
I know.
So everybody, there'll be mind reading, music, comedy, impressions. There'll be a whole lot of stuff. I'm so sorry. There'll be mind reading, music, comedy, impressions, laughter, a lot of things, but no stripping. Sorry, folks. This is all you get, just the leg.
Too bad your leg's not on camera because it's looking
I'm
good.
sorry. We'll do one leg. just the leg shot. One leg.
I took a picture of him
That's it.
outside the hotel room. It was the
Oh,
middle-
you should show
it was
that
2 or 3 in the
sometime.
morning, and we were still up. And I said, Seth, will you go out to the car and get me? I love that. And he goes out to the car, and he said, he looked like Gloria Swanson from Sunset
Well,
Boulevard.
because I put my sunglasses on, because you know how people talk in LA.
And then
so
he
I
pulled
couldn't-
the gown up and showed his leg, and I took a picture of it, and I will never publish it, but it was hilarious. Oh my gosh.
You could see my Calvin Klein.
A little something, something.
I know. God bless you, everybody. Good night. We're going to show the Debbie clip so you can all say good night to each other. Thank
Okay.
you so much for coming. Got to cue it up.
I got it queued up, so whenever you're ready, Todd.
Thanks, Channing, for
Yes,
sitting
of
in.
course.
All right. So just hold on. That is coming to you soon.
Are we ready?
Yeah, we are ready. I just.
Oh, it says I'm on.
Oh,
right now.
you know what? I introduced something and surprised everybody, and they're
Okay,
not
give
ready.
me a
But
second.
there.
The anticipation is building.
That's right. Exactly.
It says I'm on.
Oh, and
Cat-
have a good rest of the weekend, for crying out loud. It's only Saturday night. I'm going to go check on the chickens.
I'm excited for some steak.
I know.
I'm so excited.
Am I on?
No, but I just saw beautiful fish.
It says I'm on my laptop. It does. Well, this is just wonderful. It's a sit
maybe we
about,
won't
as
play the clip.
Debbie would call it. It's a
This
sit
is
about.
the
Well, because
wackiest technical show.
I'm telling you, it's a full moon because it says.
Oh,
I'm
it's
connect-
hey, happy moon anniversary, honey. It's a full moon.
It says I'm connected on my laptop to Cat Theater, right? Okay.
But the mind too. We have to keep.
Oh, there you go.
Good night, everybody.
Besides our bodies, right? That's what they call it. They call it physically fit, mentally fit. It's like the new age, you know, of thinking. It's called self-relaxing, you know, inner channeling. They call it the mantra, right? That's inner channeling, mental well-being. They call it. It's that you chant to this sort of thing. You The band knows everything. Where's your snake? let's do the chanting. I was trans-channeling recently in Malibu when I heard this cosmic operator coming through. She said, "Collect from Ramtha and direct to you." I said, "Is this a metaphor? Could I have lived before?" Now tell me, I know what you're thinking. She must have been drinking. And eventually her brain became browned out. She's on the edge, you know. But I was searching in search of... That's a TV rerun, like Star Trek. With Leonard Nimoy. And guess what I just found out? I used to be Shirley MacLaine. Come to think of it, so did she. Dear Shirley's been so many other people before. One of them must have been me. I used to be Shirley MacLaine. There we were, me and her on that limb. She said, "Let's go out of our bodies." I said, "I think I'll decline." Out of her body? She's out of her mind. Hi, Shirley. She's been thin once and fat once. She was Loris the cat was. And we once heard it said she played the horn with Count Basie. She's been Helen of Troy once, tried her luck as a boy was. And though we all winced, her brother Warren's convinced he's Dick Tracy. I must have been Shirley MacLaine, and I had the time of her life. It was fun, me one of Shirley MacLaine. In Peru, I Peru with Shirley MacLaine. Then I shouted, "It's too crowded." We're Shirley MacLaine. Shirley MacLaine, hardly a 50. Shirley MacLaine, hardly a 50. Though I still